everyone, EG here. So I'm kind of going back to my roots here on this video. I'm going to talk about what I think are the 7 most important life lessons that I've learned by the age of 70. And hopefully these will help you in some way, resonate with you in some way, and you can really take them to heart. The first one is the only constant in life is change. The only constant in life is change. And the sooner you accept that and embrace that, the less frustrating your life will be. Because everything is always going to change. Everything is never going to stay the same. So that includes relationships, your health, jobs, where you live. Everything will change. People don't go through their life and have everything the same their whole life. A lot of people try to do that. You know, maybe they had a really happy childhood and they're like, I'm just going to stay living in the same house and I'm just going to do the same things my parents did and I'm going to have a wonderful life. But you know what? Change still happens. Like I said, we don't have any control over the changes that are going to occur in our own lives. It's just, that's a principle of living. The second one is, it's okay to make mistakes. In fact, if you're human, it's normal to make mistakes. We're gonna make mistakes and it's okay. And the important thing is not to beat yourself up about it. The important thing is to just learn from it, do better next time, and then move forward. That's the best thing you can do when you make mistakes in life. And hopefully the older you get, the fewer mistakes you'll make. The next one is find a purpose in your life. Find a sense of purpose. You know, what was it? Joseph Campbell talked about following your bliss. It's kind of like that, but to me it has more depth to it. It's about not just doing something you love, but find a sense of purpose in your life. Maybe your purpose is helping other people. Maybe your purpose is art. Maybe your purpose is to provide inspiration to others through whatever it is you're doing in your life. Whatever your purpose is, throw yourself into that and make that the central part of your life, especially as an adult. You know, as a child, we probably won't have a sense of purpose yet. But once we're an adult, it's about building that for yourself and not just, you know, marking time and just doing whatever job you have to. It means even if you can't do it as your job, find a sense of purpose in other things that you do. You know, maybe you don't really love your job, but maybe you love your hobbies. Maybe you play music. You know, I have to bring up music here. Maybe you play music every day, and that gives you a sense of purpose. Maybe you volunteer a couple of days a week, and that's your sense of purpose. Have a sense of purpose. It will make your life much more meaningful. This next one is pretty simple. Spend money on experiences, not things. Spend money on experiences in life, not things. And that means that maybe the experience is getting more education and you spend money on that. Or maybe it's on improving your health. And so you go to maybe a special, you know, clinic or spa or something like that. Or it might be travel. It might be a lot of different things. But those are basically spending money on experiences, not just buying stuff. Buying stuff is never going to give you the same sense of satisfaction as you do when you spend money on something that you will never forget. You will have an experience that you will never forget. If you just saw my recent video about taking the cable car to the top of this mountain, and in a pretty terrifying kind of way for me, I still will never forget it. It was an experience. And I will always have that. I will always remember doing that. And I will be glad I did that, even though it provided a few moments of terror. So spend money on experiences. Very important. The next one is, you can't change another person. I'm going to say that again. You cannot change another person. So if you're with somebody and they are very frustrating for you, whatever it is they do or their behaviors in some way, you're never going to change it. So you have a decision to make. You're either going to learn to accept it, or you're going to move on, because you're not going to change them. Too many people, especially in romantic relationships, they do this. They go into the relationship thinking, oh, well, you know, I really like this person except for this, this, and the other thing. But that's okay. You know, that'll change over time. The longer I'm with them, that'll change. No, it won't. No, it won't. Things will probably actually get worse rather than better. So the important starting point is to recognize you're never going to change another person. So don't try. Just either accept it or move on. It will save a lot of headaches if you do that. The next one is about put more importance on your inner self than your outer self. Pay more attention to your inner beauty than your outer beauty, because you know what? The inner beauty means more and radiates through you. So haven't any of you ever met someone who was like physically very beautiful, but internally they weren't really a great person, and the longer you were around them, the less attractive they seemed? That's a real thing. That's a real phenomenon. And the opposite is also true. You could be around somebody who's not that attractive, but because they're beautiful inside, the more you're around them, the more attractive they seem. So the point is, if you're gonna, you know, I'm not saying never work on your outer self, but put more effort into who you really are and try to be a better person inside, because that, especially as you get older, that's going to matter way more than your outer appearance. So put more effort into your inner self than your outer self. Now, the last one is probably the most important that I think. And this one, you know, some of these other ones I've talked about are still a struggle for me too. This one is a really big struggle, but I know it's the most important. The most important thing in life is love. The most important thing in life is love. And I don't mean just romantic love. I mean love for yourself, love for nature, love for the world, love for people in general, love for your friends, love in a romantic sense, love for your family. Love is the cornerstone of a really meaningful life. And you know, if it's been a challenge for you, if it's been a struggle for you because maybe you didn't grow up with a lot of love, you know, I had challenges with my family when I was growing up because my father died. My mother had some issues around really being able to love. I had issues with my sister when I was a child. So the thing is, I grew up with some challenges in that area. And then as an adult, I made some bad choices in what I did with my life and like how I chose to love or withhold love or whatever. I've learned as I've gotten older that the most important thing is to try to open your heart rather than close your heart. And the thing is, are you going to get hurt if you open your heart? Yeah. You are going to probably get more hurt, but you'll also be more fulfilled. You're also going to feel more joy because you just loved people. Now, I'm not there yet, working on it. I have to say, for all of you who are still viewing this video, lots of love towards you right now. But the point is, I'm still a work in progress. I'm still working on this. I had such challenges early on in my life that this love thing is really a challenge. But I do know at the age of 70 that the most important thing in life is love. And you know, when people get to the end of their lives, there's lots of anecdotal evidence about this, that the thing that people either most regret or most appreciate are the people that they loved in their life. So just food for thought for all of you. I hope that in some way sharing these 7 things you know, resonates with you, can help you in some way. Like I said, I'm still working on these things, but I really encapsulated them down to what I thought for me were the most important 7 things. So until next time, be kind and keep moving forward. Take care. Bye.